Hi, family. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay, so today's topic, we're going to be discussing joy and the importance of holding on to your joy, the effects that it has on your health, both mentally and physically, and how it helps with motivation and things like that, and just how to, you know, don't be burdened by the world and do not be burdened by other people. Okay? Now, this is a topic that is very dear to my heart because I've always been able to readily access my joy. But when I think about it and I look back, right? Do a little introspection, you want to see how far you've come. Is there anything that you need to refine moving forward? At least that's what I do. I do that quite a lot. And I realized that there were times in my life when, even as a young child, you were told to, you know, don't be so happy, stop smiling, um, stop having fun, just don't, right? Don't you into the ground. But I'm very rebellious. I have very rebellious spirit. It's the best thing about me. So I was able to compartmentalize and know when I could be free and know when I had to, have that veneer of stoicism. Um, and then once you hit teenagehood now, it's very interesting because you're having your ups and downs with your emotions and your hormones, and you're going into womanhood and these types of things. And now your joy represents something very different, something very sinister, um, because it's as though as if it's a light that brings attention. So you shouldn't do it, for your own protection. Don't be happy, because if you're too happy, you're going to get too much attention. So you shouldn't be happy. At least that's how I translated it, right? um Up until when you are happy, then you're told you're too happy, and it's a stupid mood to be in, so you shouldn't be so happy. It's like you're giddy, and you shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be very playful, none of these things, right? And nobody could explain to me why. What is the point? What is the point of appearing um, cold and appearing, I guess, emotionless, right? Nobody could explain it to me. And it wasn't until my wedding day, when I had the big ceremony. And I remember I thought it was hilarious that when it was time to cut the cake, one of our wedding catering staff, they forgot to bring the knives and forks up. To be fair, they were very busy. Okay, so they forgot to bring the knife and fork up for us to cut the cake. So when the cake was being cut, was supposed to be being cut, we're standing there like, do 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 do. There's no knife and fork. And I remember one of somebody that I know, they came up and they said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Oh, we just need a knife and fork because we don't have one." They were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get it and stuff." And they went, they got it and things. But then what stuck out to me was that when they brought the knife and fork, I was laughing because Jerome was like, "I want to devour this cake right now." And I remember just laughing my head off because I thought it was so funny. He was gonna face plant into this 5-tier ginormous wedding cake just because he wanted to taste it. And the person that brought the knife and fork, they looked at me and they said, "Stop smiling so hard, stop laughing so hard." And I remember I looked at them and I laughed even more because I thought to myself, how dare you? You know, it's my wedding day. Planning a wedding is such a stressful thing. Nobody has an appreciation for what you go through to execute something of that magnitude. And here you are telling me to stop smiling so much and stop laughing so hard. So I laughed even harder and I smiled even more. It's my day. Can't tell me anything. Um, and then later on that night, I remember somebody else that said to me, "You look like you're in heaven. Are you going to come back down to earth?" And I just looked at them and I said, "No, I'm going to stay in heaven." And I kissed them on the cheek and then I just, went about my way. And I couldn't understand it. And the more that I think about what joy means, it's the more confused I get as to why people have this attitude towards joy as though as if it is something that it is not a prerequisite in life. Like you don't need it to live. And I firmly believe, sure, you don't need it to exist, right? You don't need joy to exist. You're here on this plane. Sure, you can go through life just begrudgingly, right? But if you're really gonna live and have an effervescence about you and have a magnetism about you, joy is absolutely essential, you know? So I really wanted to approach this topic because sometimes we need permission, even if it's from a stranger, to remember who we are at the core and to remember that, you deserve to enjoy life. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't deserve to enjoy life because of your circumstance, because of where you are, because maybe you're not where you want to be, or maybe you're not where they want you to be. All of those things come into play when people start telling you things like you shouldn't be happy, and being happy is silly, and you shouldn't be joyful because it's a stupid mood to be in, and you shouldn't smile so much. One time I had somebody that I didn't even know. This was a friend of a friend, and my dear friend brought this person in so that we could do a show together. And I remember when we had the initial meeting, we were in a restaurant, we had the initial meeting, and I remember when it was at the end of the night, and we were taking pictures together. Me and my friend were taking pictures, and I said to the third party, I said, "Come, let's take picture. This is the beginning of our union for this 3 day show we're gonna be doing." And I remember the person was like, "No, I don't want to take pictures because your 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 aura is gonna outshine mine." And I was like, "Nothing can outshine you unless you tell it to. Just get in the picture. Let's take the picture. Just go." And they said no. And then they said to me, they were like, "But you should, when you take the picture, don't smile so much because your gums are gonna be in the picture and it's not gonna come out nice." And I looked at them and I said, "Don't you worry about my gums, okay? I got my granddaddy's teeth and I'm proud of them." And I remember they looked at me and they said, "This one is a diva." I said, "You're sure right." You know, people are very strange, very, very strange family. And I am here to implore you, do not take other people's stuff and other people's strangeness, do not take that and imbibe it into your soul and make it your problem. If you are somebody that you thrive when your energy is high, you feel good when your energy is high, you're able to get your things done, and you really are able to celebrate in the moment, and you feel better when your energy is high, don't let miserable people tell you that your energy is too high. Don't let them tell you that you smile too much. Don't let them tell you you're too happy. And it's quite interesting because, you know, now I could only speak about what I've noticed. It is actually a mark of greatness to be cold and to be standoffish and to be miserable. It's very interesting dynamic. People tend to, they want to do something for the person that is cold, standoffish, and miserable. And I know this because I too used to fall into that trap before. When you see somebody and their energy is very much stay away from me, and you're like, "Oh, there's something I can do to help this person," so on and so forth. But the people who are genuinely themselves, genuinely embodied, genuinely happy, they are treated with such suspicion and skepticism. And they're called fake, and they're called, it's like, oh, they're always happy, like ain't nothing to smile about that much in this life. And the thing of it is that for you, maybe there's nothing that much to smile about in life because you haven't actually searched to find things that you could smile about in life. But when you see people that are genuinely happy, genuinely in their element, and somebody like me, I'm in my element wherever I go. I take my joy with me. And it can be very offensive to miserable people, and I've learned to be okay with that, because the more that I research what does living a good life mean, a good holistic existence, joy is an integral part of that. Let me tell you, joy helps you with your motivation. When you are able to access your joy, be it um, good memories that you have, maybe something that you really, really enjoyed once upon a time, and you're able to access that and bring the feeling of that into your present, it does nothing but good for you. Nothing but good. When you're able to access your joy and make it a part of everything that you do, it boosts your immune system, it calms your nervous system, it's good for your mental health. It actually gives you the energy to be motivated and get things done in your life. And a lot of times I've had people say to me, "Oh, I don't know how you get so much done. You do this, you do that." Honestly, in my mind, I'm not doing enough. In my mind, right? But at the same time, I am very well aware that my innocence, my playfulness, my willful um need to enjoy my own company and to really remember funny things and to really remember great experiences that I've had, I find that it tends to clear the path mentally, like the road ahead, so that any challenge that you end up running into, you can surmount. You might not be able to run and jump over it immediately, but at the moment when you're facing said challenge, you could happily eat away at it bite by bite until you find your way through. If you take somebody that they are miserable, they're heavy, they're cold, and they're rude, standoffish, and aggressive, and you put a challenge in front of them, and you put a challenge in front of somebody who has a healthy, balanced view of life and a great effervescence about themselves, the person who is the opposite of that, they might make it through the challenge, but by the time they make it through the challenge, it's like you don't want to meet them on the other side of that challenge because their attitude is just so negative. But the person who's able to enjoy life, even if it takes them a little bit longer, by the end of it, it's like they are able to now stack one more winning experience onto their existence. And it's then able to inform them going forward. And other people feel that. Other people feel you when you're joyful, when you are a can do type of person. And that's not to say you're going to be that all the days of your life, because it's just not practical. We all have moments, right? When we have to either stop or pause, or we're down or something like that. But there is a magnetism that is developed in the character, and it becomes a part of the fabric of who that person is when you take time out to really express, experience, and enjoy your joy, your happiness, the things that makes you shine, the things that makes you feel sparkly. There is a magnetism to that That's why there's some people, they might not be as qualified as somebody else, but they will get further in life. They will have stronger relationships in life. You might wonder to yourself, how is it that they always make it and they're just going level after level after level, and they're not as qualified as me or as whatever as me? It's because they have a magnetism to them that just draws people in. And joy, I have found that joy is such a prerequisite for holistic success. So, success in a 360-degree, every area of your life kind of way. You attract more people to you. Now, of course, you have to be discerning because like any bright light, you get moths and you get bugs, right, attracted to you. So with your joy, yes, you must manage your discernment as well. However, family, I just want to implore you, don't get into the habit of becoming a troll or a Scrooge, the fairy tale version of that, because I don't know one miserable person that I would like to be like. I don't even want to be around miserable people, to be honest with you. I don't want to be around nobody that gonna tell me stop smiling too hard. And when you get older, you can make decisions like that. Like I just don't want to be around you because I can see that it's your job to just have me weighted down and to never be able to live a full expressed existence. So family, just remember, access your joy. The more you access your joy and the little things that make you happy, the more fulfilling your life is going to be, the more enriching your life is going to be, and the better you're going to feel about yourself. Do not be burdened, overwhelmed, and weighted down by miserable, aggressive, angry, argumentative, sad people. Don't. Don't do it. And if you find yourself miserable, aggressive, angry, and sad, really sit down and begin to journal and ask yourself, what is it that is making me feel this way? And underneath all of those words, miserable, anger, aggression, and sadness, a lot of times there is either fear attached, right? Fear, but then it begins to masquerade as something else, or it could be loss of emotional connection attached as well, which again leads to fear. Fear is really the underpinning of those types of emotions. And so begin to look at your life and just, write on pen and paper, journal for yourself. What is it that you're feeling? What is going on with you? Because the truth is, when you're in that state of fear, aggression, so on and so forth, you then wonder why nobody else wants to be around you. And I'm here to tell you, it's because that type of energy has such a draining charge. People don't want to be drained anymore, especially with what's going on in the world. People have become very conscious of how they spend their time, and they don't want to be drained anymore. And I don't think people understand how being in those heavier states for long periods of time can lead to your life going down the toilet, because slowly but surely people begin to drop you off at the next stop because they don't want to carry that heaviness into their lives as they begin to live their lives. Especially people who tend to have more higher energy. My husband, one time he said to me, he was like, "You are hyper." And I was like, "Yes, yes, I am. And you are not. And that's why we're here." So, family, access your joy at will. Let nobody guilt you into feeling guilty about being happy. Life is going to throw you enough challenges. You don't have to be a burden to yourself as well. You need to be strong to be able to surmount those challenges. And strength, yes, it is gained through tough times, but also strength combined with joy can make you almost invincible. Okay, so have a good day, family. Talk to you soon.